everybody. Welcome. Tony Saracino, Tony Saracino Baseball Show, June 21st. Happy Father's Day to everybody out there. It's my first day back. I got to watch the Met game last night. I've been in Europe for the last couple of weeks. It was kind of hard to follow baseball a little bit. I left on June 5th. The Mets are 8 games under 500. I returned yesterday, and after yesterday's game, the Mets were 8 games under 500. So treading water, not getting anything done. Getting very close to start talking about who's going to be buyers and sellers at the trade deadline. And the Mets are beginning to look like they're going to be sellers more and more, especially when you can't get back to 500. And especially when you look at the team and you don't even know what they have to sell anyway. I mean, there's a lot they would need to buy. Peralta is supposed to be the ace of the staff. He's not pitched like an ace. Okay, this is pretty easy. He's pitched like a disaster. 4.8 ERA, and they're supposed to be your number 1 and number 2 starters, 5 and 6. Can't go more than 5 innings in a game most of the time. Got bombed yesterday. Phillies did an absolute number on him. Philly lineup compared to the Met lineup is, apples and oranges. And Philly showed it yesterday. Schwarber with 3 home runs, Harper hit for the cycle. Aside from Juan Soto and Bichette, who has been hitting, and he's up over 250, hasn't made any difference. Mets are still 8 games under 500. They're still not going to win if guys like Peralta can't go out and give them good starts. And you're going to have to start making a decision on Peralta pretty soon. As we get close to the deadline, he's on a 1-year contract. That's going to re-sign him. They would have already. And there's nothing he's done that shows that they'd want to re-sign him. So I don't know what else the Mets can sell at the trade deadline. Maybe Vientos, Beatty, one of those 2 guys can't be on the team anymore. It's starting to become obvious, especially when you get rid of the players that they got rid of. They need help. They need a lot of offense still. They got a lot of players that kind of play the same way. So you're going to sell Peralta. I don't know what you're going to get for him because he's not worth anything right now. Not anything big. I don't even know if he's not even worth your best prospect. And see how fast it is in baseball. If he was 6-1 and the Mets were this far under 500, the Mets would either think about signing him or they'd sell high on him. Right now, it looks like they're going to be forced to sell low if they don't spotlight this guy for the next 30 days and he doesn't pitch, tremendously. So that's a big problem. All right, so the Mets are going to have to sell if they're still. I usually use July 15th as a date. And Peralta, listen, if this guy can't pitch, they have no chance to compete. They have no chance. I know they're 5.5 games out of a wild card, but there's a ton of teams in front of them. And this is the last spot for the wild cards. And the Cubs and the Padres, and they've just done them a favor. All right, but they're not going to win anything. They're not going to make a playoff run. With who? With who? They got 2 big league hitters on that team, really. Bichette and Soto that have done anything. So, we don't know what A.J. Ewing is going to be doing. And Carson Bench has been okay. You're going to get Lindor back. Is that going to make a big difference? Is that going to make a big difference? Going to go from 8 games under 500 to 3 games under 500 over the next 2 months? I don't see anything here that, it's been 2 weeks longer. All right, I left on the 5th. I'm back on the 19th. So let's take another 2 weeks from now, and we'll see what happens. But this is the same problem with this team, and there's a big lack of talent on this team. It really is a lack of talent, and the guys are just not performing. How long are you going to stick with Beatty? How long are you going to stick with Vientos? You're going to build around Polanco and Roberts, who you brought in here to replace Nimmo and Alonso? Not going to happen. They're not doing it. They get hurt all the time. Where are you going with this? And they like to say, "Oh, Steve Cohen will spend money." Steve Cohen is not spending his money. Okay, let me give you a little secret here to the fans, the Met fans. Steve Cohen is spending your money. Okay, when it's $50 to park at the stadium, and it used to be $20 just 6 years ago. Before COVID, it was $20 to park at Citi Field. It's now $50. Okay, that's 150% increase across 6 years. A hot dog and a beer at Citi Field is $23. $23 for a hot dog and a beer. So guess who's paying for Soto's contract? You are. Okay, Cohan didn't come in here and spent his money. He's spending your money. Okay, because 3 million of you are going to go and show up at Citi Field. And guess what? Don't do them any favors. You want Cohan to spend his money? Don't go to the ballpark. Force him to spend his money and get this fixed. Because it's not going to happen without spending money right now. I hate to say it, but I'm looking. I like Benj as a play. I like Ewing, Nolan McLean. But the Mets need so much. They need a ton. They need a ton. They weren't that talented a team before the season. And he got rid of their 2 out of their 3 most talented offensive players. So, and I like the Peralta deal when he did it. But it's obvious that Peralta's a 5-inning pitcher. He needs a lot of help. He's not an ace. And he got him on a 1-year contract. He's the only thing you're going to be able to sell. That's it. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And if you fans keep going to the ballpark, Cohan, they're just going to keep recycling this. It's just going to be like a hamster on a wheel. They're going to keep spending your money different ways and probably spending it so far, unwisely. All right? Aside from Soto, I don't think Bichette's worth the contract. He can't catch the ball. He can't field. They don't have a position for him. He's almost a DH. And you got Soto, who's not a great fielder, and he's going to have to DH. So you spent money on those 2 guys. You got a $320 million payroll. I don't know of another real big leaguer on the roster except for Peralta that has a big baseball card. And Lindor. Okay, and he's hurt. Roberts, he's got a baseball card. It's not that great, but he's hurt. Okay. Polanco, he's got some numbers. He's got a baseball card. He's hurt. And these guys have been, like I said, the last podcast I did, they've been hurt. They've always been hurt. So you brought in very fragile players. So you're 8 games under 500. You got the Phillies again today. I think the Phillies are going to come out for blood today. You don't have starting pitching. What are you going to do? Phillies have not hit this year, but they got guys. You look at you got Trey Turner, you got Schwarber, you got Harper, you got Marsh, you got Bohm. You got guys on that team. You got Realmuto. Now, I know they're not all hitting right now. Harper was in a big slump. He broke out of it yesterday with a cycle. Schwarber hit 3 home runs, including 2 of them that went 400 in 1 inning. He hit about 900 feet worth of home runs. Sanchez as a pitcher. The Mets have anybody like Sanchez? How are you going to make a run at the playoffs? They have nobody like these players. Soto could be as good as anybody in the league. Okay, I get it. And you paid for that. It wasn't a steal. It wasn't, but Bichette is a 686 OPS guy. He's a 750 guy. What Bichette is, Bichette's a guy that does 600 at-bats a year and hit you 20 home runs in 600 at-bats. Okay? That's not really a power hitter anymore. So if he doesn't bat 300 with a 350 on-base percentage, 360 on-base percentage, he is almost a negative WAR player because he gives you no fielding either. So he has to get base hits. And he's got to get some doubles in there, too. He's got 11 doubles in almost halfway point of season. Last year he had 44 doubles. So he's not driving the ball. But anyway, okay, so you got those 2 guys. Just to make my point, they're your two baseball, back of the baseball card players, I always call them. That's got no pitching. They don't have much of a staff. I don't care what you say. I don't care if Minaya has pitched a couple of good games. They don't have a staff. They have nobody on that staff like Sanchez. You look at the Brewers, they got nobody on that staff that can be an ace, like a Mizorowski or Skeens. I know those are the top 3 pitchers in the big leagues. Okay, or Tani. All right, Yamamoto. And these guys, they have nobody like this. Okay? Singer, if I never see Singer in a Met uniform again, it'll be too soon. He is just about done. I can't see the Mets keeping him around. And they're not going to get anything for him at the trade deadline. Here's the funny thing about Peralta. How funny baseball is. If Peralta was 7-2 for the Mets right now, and the Mets was still 8 games under 500 and decide they had to sell, they get a ton for Peralta. For half the season, they get a fair amount. Here's how fast it is with baseball when you're on a 1-year contract. You really run a risk. He's 5-6 with a 4.83 ERA. Okay? He's going less than 5. He's going about 5 innings to start right now. What are they going to get for him? I'm not going to get anything for him. I'm going to get zero for him. So who do the Mets have? McClain as a starter? Okay, fine. Yeah, he's been an average pitcher. But they have nobody. How are they going to make a run? How is this team going to make a run to the playoffs? With who? They're going to be buyers at the trade deadline? You're telling me they're going to buy more. What do they got to trade? They don't have they're going to give up some jewels in their farm system to get the last wild card spot. This team has been built poorly. It's been spent a lot of money. Unfortunately, like I said, it's been your money because they are charging champagne prices for a McDonald's hamburger. It's not even as good as a McDonald's hamburger. All right, we're talking like garbage. Garbage. So don't go to the ballpark. Do yourself a favor. Send a message. You go to these games and you spend the money, the $50 a park. You get 2 hot dogs, you pay another $50 for 2 beers and 2 hot dogs, and you are just feeding in to them, recycling this garbage and spending your money on other junk. Make him spend his money, okay? He's going to be putting a casino in there. He's going to he's going to be printing money and putting it in his pocket. And he's going to be spending your money on players, all right? 2.5 million fans walk through the door, do the math, okay? It's that simple. You're seeing prices go up every year at Citi Field. Every year. Every year they go up. I don't care. Tuesday's a $5 hot dog day. I'm telling you, slice of pizza there, the chicken, and the food isn't bad. Don't get me wrong. It's good food. But the prices are outrageous. And the paraphernalia to buy something, a shirt, a t-shirt, it's incredible what these guys charge. And they market this stuff out and get you 5. Don't buy a jersey. Don't buy a Met jersey. Do yourself a favor. They just come out with 8 or 9 new different jerseys that you think you got to have every year. Don't. Do not buy here. Make him spend his money, okay, and put some real smart decisions into the team. Because I think if he's spending your money, he doesn't give a crap. He doesn't care. He's at the Knicks game. Congratulations to the Knicks. He's at the Knicks game in the front row the other day. He doesn't care. He's got his casino going up. He doesn't care. You're paying $50 for parking. Next year it'll be $60. He doesn't care. All right? You're paying $23 for a hot dog this year. Next year it'll be $25. He doesn't care. He's going to raise the price. You keep going, and nothing's going to change. Hiring a garbage general manager? Not going to matter. Doesn't care what he does with the money. It's not his money. That's how much power you have, but you have to act together. Okay? You have to act together, and don't go. I got a game today. Let's see how it goes. You got about another 3 weeks. And then we're going to start offloading and jump off the Titanic here. Be one or the other, and it's another wasted season. And another one since 1986 that's gone by. Now the Knicks have a title. You got the Rangers in 94. I mean, what are you going to compete with the Islanders for not having a championship? And, you know, going back 40 years now. It's an awfully long time in baseball. This is Tony Saraceno, and this is the Tony Saraceno Baseball Show. If you like what I got to say and you get a kick out of it, hit the subscribe button in the lower right corner. And I'll see you next time. Have a great day, and happy Father's Day again out there to everybody.